Today we're going to take a look at the top tips on trading index CFDs. Now, as you no doubt already know, the indices are a benchmark of how the top X number of stocks are performing. So the Aussie 200 index is a benchmark of the top 200 stocks on the ASX, and the S&P 500 index, the most heavily traded index around the world, is a benchmark of the top 500 stocks on the American market and so on. Dow Jones is the top 30, the FTSE's top 100, the Nikkei is the top 225. Many traders make the transition to trading indices after trading blue chip stocks on their respective exchange for some time. The beauty of this is the skills you have for analysing the top blue chip stocks are perfect for trading global indices. Today we'll be focused on the Aussie 200 index CFDs, but do keep in mind these tips can be applied across all indices. Now, the trick with trading index CFDs is not to get so granular that you are just looking at the index. So for example, this chart here, we don't want to just always analyse this. Remember, the index is made up of the top stocks in that region. So for the Aussie 200, we're going to start by running our analysis across the top 200 stocks. And if we break it down a little bit further, obviously the top 50 in the 200 have a big influence on how that index moves. So there are a couple of ways we can do this. One way is we can go to websites such as marketindex.com.au, and they will break down the top 50 stocks here, as you can see, and they'll chart it for you. And obviously you can change it from 1 year to 6 months and 5 years and so on, but it enables us to see how the top 50 stocks are going. So we want enough stocks to be able to get our analysis done that's having a meaningful impact, but not too many that it takes too much time. So for example, if you just looked at the top 5 stocks, sure, they have a heavy weighting, but it's just not enough of the index to warrant where we need to go for our analysis. So you can also have a look down here, the individual stocks that make up that. Now, what I tend to do is I have a spreadsheet that I like to use over the top 50 stocks. So every day, and certainly every weekend, what I like to do is have a look at the top 50 ASX stocks as I'm focused on the Aussie 200 index, and see which ones are making higher lows, equal lows, lower lows, higher highs, equal highs, lower highs. If there's any bullish or bearish divergence as well. So what I'll do is I'll pop into Metastock, and then what I'll do is I'll have a look at the top 50 stocks. So an easy way to do that is just to pop straight in here, bring up the chart, and then have a look at the top 50 stocks right here. Click on Open Chart, and they will open. I'm just going to pause this for a sec. Okay, now all those stocks have been open. So now I've got the top 50 stocks open. So what I do is I flick between these two. So I print this out, and then I just note which stocks are hitting higher highs and higher lows and all that type of thing. So I'd go through here, and as an example, this is hitting a higher high. So I'd put a notch in the higher high here, just one tab there, or one notch, and then that I'll just continue to fill them out as I go around. This one here is hitting a lower high. So the way I differentiate that is if the stochastic is above 50, then the potential is that it's in an uptrend. So then I'm looking for lower highs. And if it's broken the recent highs, then that would be a higher high. So at the moment, that's actually a lower high and it's overbought. So that'll be a good indication there. So let me just go through one more. Okay, this one here, we're hitting lower lows. So the previous lows have been broken, and that's hitting a lower low. And this one here, we're looking at a double bottom here. So that would be equal lows just there. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea. So what we're trying to do is just note the top stocks within that index to see where we're at, where the weightings are at. If we get a lot hitting higher highs, we know the market's in a definite uptrend, and we should get a confirmation in the ASX 50 index itself just here to be seeing that there's a lot of stocks hitting higher highs. If, however, that we start to see that there's a lot of stocks hitting lower highs, then that's giving us a good indication as well. Likewise, if there's more bullish and bearish divergence that we're usually used to, that's a really good indication as well. Next, what I like to do, once I've got all the results written down, I like to update a daily market analysis tick sheet. So then I go and place them, or at the same time, I'm actually noting down in here. So I've got a visual representation of what that will look like with higher highs and higher lows, just in one easy to read table here. Once I've done that, it gives me absolute confidence as to what I believe the market could be doing and where the strengths and weaknesses are sitting. It really paints a good picture as to what I need to be focused on for the day ahead, or the weeks and months ahead as well. It can also form a bit of an analysis for the stocks that you might be trading to see if they're going to have a lot of follow through, or maybe there's some roadblocks up ahead. So by doing that, it starts to paint a picture as to where the index might be going itself, whether we're going to see some upside potential there, whether there's a lot of double tops, whether there's a lot of lower highs or lower lows, and it starts to see where we can get confidence in our trades going forward. So as you can see, the process of trading index CFDs, it is really about getting to know the stocks that make up that index. How are they trading? How are they performing? What's likely to be happening from a technical point of view across the big movers, the most influential ones there. Now, if you're trading something like the Dow Jones, then you only need to look at 30 stocks in any case, so that's not too bad. But the Aussie 200, obviously it takes a bit of time to go through 200 stocks, so the top 50 is a pretty good benchmark as to what could happen there. So hopefully there's some pretty good tips on how you can start to analyze the market in a slightly different way than what you might be used to, as opposed to just looking at the chart itself, whether you're looking at the DAX or the Dow or the FTSE. You want to be able to have a look at the index as a whole, but the stocks that make up that index. That's really important. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and a like, and please subscribe to the channel. And as always, all the best with your trading. Thank you.